This episode is brought to you by Pacifico. Here's a story you've probably never heard. Legend has it, decades ago, a couple surfers went down to Mexico in search of epic swells, but they found something unexpected instead. It was still crisp, lively, and smooth, but it had nothing to do with waves. It was Pacifico, a delicious Mexican lager. It's like it was brewed to be discovered. Pacifico, find your own way. 21 plus, discover responsibly. Pacifico Clara Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Welcome back to the Boundary Corner podcast here in a rainy night in the RVA. This is Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian Siegler. How's it going, buddy?
Oh, buddy. It's going, man. You know, what is this, like day 17 of quarantine lockdown?
Day 17 feels like day 38.
Yeah, this is the 6,000th day of March, I think. I really honestly believe that, man. But no, we're going well here. We're staying healthy. My wife tonight made this banging egg casserole dish. She made some homemade bread yesterday. Like, made that the base, then put eggs in it with peppers and sausage and onions and some Oh, dude. Oh, just so money. And she makes so much of it. I got some breakfast tomorrow.
There you go, man. You know, that sounds real good, but I mean, you know where I went tonight?
Ooh, where'd you go?
A little Hurley's takeout, man.
Oh,
little Hurley's curbside.
Chili.
Got some wings, got the burger, got some blue cheese tots.
Oh, that's money, dude. Chili lime, I'm guessing.
Went barbecue because I took the burger, so I went. I deferred to the wife because she was going to go mostly wings tonight. So went barbecue. I had 3 of the wings and the burger and some tots.
Nice. Yep. All you unmarried guys or guys dating girls, if you do something like that, whatever she wants in that case, you let her have. Don't try to enforce it, or you'll be in the official doghouse. Man, I kind of sit here in the man room tonight, Brian, and I look. And I see the TVs, and they're black, which makes me sad.
Yeah.
You've been here before, man, and like on a Saturday or even like this time of year, it's baseball rocking, and you know, unfortunately,
I do like the command center, man. I do like the command center.
Got to do it. Saturday afternoon, if the Hokies aren't playing, you're trying to keep the best game on your big TV, and if you only got one TV, you can't do that. So, you know the way this thing was built. So, yeah, guys, we don't have like any in-depth topics today. We're going to hit a few things here and there, some fun stuff. But we're going to lead off with sort of the big news of Hokie Nation in the last week, and that's the Travion Henderson decision. Brian?
He is now a Buckeye, ladies and gentlemen. Spoiler alert.
He has committed to the Ohio State University. He is not a Buckeye yet.
This is true.
This is true.
Still, we have a verbal commitment to the Ohio State University.
Brian, just give me your take, because we both were following as it led up. What was your thoughts when everything broke on Friday night?
Well, good old Robles Mike Farrell owes us one, I think.
Maybe two.
He's out there getting Hokie Nation's hopes up a little bit, but I mean, I think a lot of us had felt like this was probably gonna happen in terms of a big 5-star recruit, especially one that's ranked in some circles as the number one running back in the country. Probably going to head to one of those blue blood programs. We had hopes of keeping him home, being, hometown favorite, things like that. But ultimately, it was not in the cards. And, I know we've been talking about this a lot. And if we want to start hitting on some of these 5-star guys that don't have either legacy ties to Virginia Tech or things like that, we're going to have to start winning some more games. That's just, the long and short of it.
It's true. And I mean, I said a few weeks ago that my expectation was 4 where we're 0 for 1. So yeah. But just like the feels, and again, why I felt the opportunity, why we could land him is we don't have that elite stud in the backfield. No disrespect to Keyshawn King or the guys, there right now. But you look at Ohio State, just 3 days prior, and I think me and you talked about it, like Evan Pryor committed out of Charlotte there. It's like, he's like the number 5 back in the country. Well, wait a second. This is good for us. This is good for anybody that's in the final race for Henderson. And, you kind of like the visit. It seemed like it went well. And then the video dropped and we weren't even in there. So, yeah. But you still want to –
That rubs some folks the wrong way that UVA got a mention and we didn't get a mention. So I think that rubs some folks the wrong way. I don't think it was meant as a personal jab. I think that was more kind of there's something else going on that may have attributed to that. But, it is what it is. And I think some folks got rubbed the wrong way, especially with some of the hype that was leading up to it with him getting the, kind of the last official with us. But, he didn't even take an official with Ohio State, and they still landed him right after landing another top 5 in the country running back just a week prior. So,
yeah. And that's blue bloods, man. I mean, they can – sometimes I try to be optimistic and say you look at a guy, hey, why go somewhere where you're going to compete now? I know those guys, they believe in their abilities. They have to be at that kind of level. So,
well, most of the guys, especially running backs, I mean, they think one big year is enough for them to get first round, second round pick. Even with, the devaluing of the running back at the NFL level. I mean, if they show out for one big year, that can be enough to be one of those, top 5 running back that usually still gets pulled in the first or second round. So,
yeah, we used to have that. Remember a guy named Ryan Williams and David Wilson 10 years ago? Oh, baby.
Yeah, it's been a bit.
It has been a bit. It's been a long time since we have landed, David and both Ryan they were borderline 5-star guys. They were like top 100 players. They were elite. So, but
and I mean, well, we got to also talk about the fact that the last one we did land wasn't from a state hotbed either. It wasn't an RVA guy. It wasn't a Nova guy. It wasn't a 757 guy.
He was
somebody
from
Southside Virginia. It's Danville. I mean,
it's true, man.
We've had some success with Danville, though. I mean, between the Edmonds and David there, obviously the Pennsylvania County has been good to us recently.
Very true. Now, kind of continuing with the Henderson thing, and Justin Hamilton's been on fire on Twitter this week, the last week.
Man, he's definitely setting the tone and saying this is what we are about.
This is,
and if you're not about it, that's fine. Move on. But if you are, make it be known because we're ready to do some big things.
Exactly. And I'm going to
really got to love that.
You do. And I mean, and he's kind of, and it's not just to the Virginia guys, it's to everybody, but that first one that went out last week takes loyalty to stay home. It takes guts to stay home when leaving has been a trend. It takes a legend to put a state in a program on his back, create his own definition of a trend. That was like, whoa.
That's a shot across the bow.
Definitely shot across the bow. Well, and the question is, that was a couple days prior to the commitment. I wonder if Trayvon Henderson made the call and said, "Yeah, I'm going to Ohio State." The next one was not long after. Do you got that one in front of you, Brian?
I don't, but
okay.
I kind of remember it almost verbatim, but I'll let you ride with it if you got it.
We supposed to be upset when we lose out? Kids make choices, so be it. If anything, I respect it. If we're not your number one, make it known, just like you were saying earlier. We'll shoot our shot at the next one. This is us. And if it's not for you or you're not sure, it's okay. And good luck. If it is, why wait? Get in. Let's go. That's the one you were talking about. And baby,
I got fired up. I got real fired up on that one. I'm not gonna lie, I got real fired up on that one. That's the one that really said, okay. And that's what we really, I think, have been missing from a leadership role with the program, is somebody that's going to go out there and put their name on it and let these prospects know what we're about and set the tone. Somebody that has that social media presence that can really convey that message. So I think that's going to be big. I mean, I know recruiting battles aren't won and lost on Twitter, but I definitely feel like what J Ham's doing is definitely moving the needle.
Oh, absolutely. And by the way, I know you were out running and getting dinner the last one. And this is one that I think speaks to the roots of this program of we are blue collar, we are hardworking. This program has been significant for the last 27 years. Ohio State, places like that have been significant 70 plus years. Brendan Hill was always trying to make that point, keep people in check. Remember, we are down. We have a 50-year deficit to make up.
Yep.
Don't look at stars. But today he said it perfectly. It's why we love him as a coach. And I'll read. The VT brand is powered by the people, those who built it, those who entrusted with it, and those up next to carry it forward. And then he quotes what's on the Hokie Stone before they come out: for those who have passed, for those to come. It ain't just words on a rock. It's the rock. There's a decline between spectators. Pick us. I mean, dude, I get the feeling when I'm reading some of J Ham's tweets. I feel like this is what Bud was probably when Jay was playing for him, back when we were building that legacy, when me and you were kids watching it in the 90s. I don't know. I've met Bud a couple times. I could see a younger Bud being this, and maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. And I mean, you didn't see it in print or on Twitter because that didn't exist back then. But I mean, I'm sure that stuff like that is the conversations that were had behind the scenes. Those are the conversations that were had in living rooms or on the telephone, when Bud was doing his thing. So I definitely think that this is kind of like the next step in the evolution of what that defensive coordinator is going to be for us. And I love what J.M.'s doing, man. It's really speaking to just our image and what we've been about, and just kind of evolving it, taking it to that next level.
Yeah, and then J Ham's just making noise all over the place. The 247 stuff, you got a chance to read on that, and tell me, when you're reading that and some of the stuff that he's talking about, what are you seeing that we're going to see changing on defense this year?
So the big thing that I'm seeing, and that we were talking about, the just for reference, guys, talking about the article in 247 where J Ham was kind of talking a little bit about some of the new things you might see relative to the Bud Foster defenses now that he's got the reins. And, what we're not going to see is wholesale changes, top to bottom. It's still going to be very much a similar style of defense, but there's going to be nuances to it that are completely and 100% J Ham and some of the new assistants that we've got on staff now. Particularly what I'm looking at is probably big changes at the defensive line front with some of the schemes that Tierlink is going to put in. And it's going to flow over to the front seven. You're going to see a lot of showing blitzes pre-snap and then bailing on those. We're going to try to do a lot with confusing the offensive line into committing to a man and then having to make another decision on the fly when either the bail happens or when somebody comes from somewhere else that wasn't showing.
Now, the other piece, and I see some of the commitments we have, is I think J Ham, and I don't know if it's going to be so much at corner, but I think it's safety and nickel. He talks about interchangeable pieces, and from what you're saying about how you have guys moving up to the line, away from the line, bailing, dropping into coverages, I think we're going to see prototypical same size, same skill set guys at all three of those positions going forward. I don't think we're going to be looking for like a 5'10" thumper a la Reggie Floyd at Rover anymore. I don't
Yeah.
think we're going to see similar guys at whip or nickel anymore. I get that feel when he talked about the interchangeable that, you know what, I'm putting 8 guys on the line of scrimmage. Like you just said, hey, you make the decision of who's coming and who's not. Hope you don't mess up because we want to pop your quarterback. We want to get him down. We want to make him get happy feet and short arm throws. So I love seeing that. I think what really stinks is not having the spring game where you kind of probably see some of that. But at least he kind of pulled the curtain back a little for us this time.
Yeah, and from a secondary philosophy, just to build off what you're talking about there, I think we're still going to see a lot of kind of cover 3 philosophies. But I think, who's going to be the robber on any given down is going to change, and it's going to change it depending on where the level of the blitz show is. It's going to depend on who's coming, who's going. I mean, I think you're going to see a lot of not only additional pressure, but because of the coverage being disguised pre-snap, you're going to see some more turnovers, not only because of the quarterback having to make a quicker decision, but because of the quarterback not really knowing, where that secondary player is going to be playing underneath coverage on any given down.
You're definitely right, man, about that. And again, stinks we don't get to see the product on the field, but it's nice to kind of get an idea of what potentially could be happening. Hopefully when we see that Liberty game, Labor Day weekend. Brian, you just talked about it. Speaking of TNT, Taffet Tiernick, 2 of their guys on the Hard Hat series this week. Tell me what you thought about Belmar and Hewitt, man.
Belmar and Hewitt, I love the way they kind of started off the conversation there. They were really talking about, the trench mentality and inside drill and half line and how you got to really commit to that stuff and really go into the preparation of it the same way that you would treat a game, because you can't just flip a switch and turn that type of stuff on and off. That's something that you got to do every day. You got to live it. And, they talked about that a good deal. I loved what Belmar was saying about some of the trash talk, and, Hewitt played off of it a little bit, but Belmar talking about, his game kind of feeds off the trash talk. So he trash talks to get himself up, and he's like, I like getting the other guy up too. I like to go against the best. I like, that's what I like to hear right there. Somebody that wants to get the best from the opponent and still make them pay for it a little bit. Did you watch much of that?
I watched a little of it. Actually, I watched the whole thing, but I watched it when it first came out, which feels like a month ago now. The other piece that you kind of feel those guys, they're feeling Tiernick's expertise. Like, it's almost like they're kind of sad they don't get the time with him this spring, but I feel like probably through, and I don't know what the coaches can do and whatnot, but you feel like he's getting them some things to look at tape and stuff where they're kind of like, it's the trust thing, right? They had Charlie for all those years, and this guy's coming up and he's showing them things, and it's like, whoa, this guy knows what he is doing. Now they're talking to,
and the other thing that he talked about, the biggest thing that I was noting on, he's like, he's been in the NFL for 10 years. He knows, the coaching circle. He knows the scouts. I mean, that's going to pay some dividends when we're talking about putting some Hokie talent in the NFL as well. So, it's not just, we got an NFL guy. Yeah, he's going to be a expertise, defensive line coach in terms of knowing, what he's doing, how to scheme, how to get additional pressure that we haven't been able to get. But it's also that aspect. And I mean, you can't undersell that aspect, because that's a big reason that, prospects commit to these blue blood schools, is because of their NFL factory resume.
Absolutely. I mean, you can't, again, I'll go back to Travion for a second. I mean, Dobbins is probably going to be a high pick. Zeke there, Carlos Hyde in the league. There's a lot of Ohio State running backs that are there right now. So, yeah, but you're right with Tiernick, because you get a feeling what's going to happen. For example, Hewitt, Belmar, some of these guys graduating this year, if he gives a call up to his buddies at the Bills or guys he's coached with saying, hey, take a shot on this guy, and you see him get drafted where they like, wait a second, he got drafted? Why did he get drafted? And then some kid at, spring games talking to him, hey, congratulations, you got drafted, but what happened? Oh, Coach called the Denver Broncos D-line coach and said I'd be a good fit, and they took me there. So, yeah, you're 100% right about that. Now, the other guy, it seems like these guys are already just, they know everything about Tap, and you feel it just going so much on them. What did you think about how they talked about Daryl Tap?
Yeah, the biggest thing, and I mean, we noticed because we talked about him being at the spring game and stuff, the times we went before he was on the staff, but talked about how they always, they were seeing him around campus, before he got the job, last couple of years. So, this isn't just something that, Tap took the opportunity to go back to his alma mater. I mean, this is a guy that has always wanted to be around the program, be keyed in. And, they talked about, his drive, how he is at practice, how he's pushing them, but he also talks about how he's pushing them to watch film, pushing them to get better every day. And I mean, that's what we knew we were going to get from Tap. He's intense, but he's intense in a productive way. And he's going to get them, I think, motivated to just get after it and get better every day. And that's what they're talking about. And I'm hoping we start seeing some of those results.
Absolutely. And they also, what did they say? He had the cleats and the spikes on out there while they were doing.
Yeah. He said he can still get it.
Absolutely. Also, Tap he's becoming the official spokesman for anything.
Yeah. I mean, Tap can sell anything, man.
Going through the video the other day, it was like him, like again, it's a coach, it's a recruiting pitch. But since it's kind of, he's not recruiting one specific person, even it's during the dead time, they can't say anything about it. So it's kind of a sneaky way to get around to say, you get a feeling probably some of these kids might have got wind of this video before us public did. So, but also the new facilities, man. I mean, they look awesome. Can't wait to see.
Go get yourself a sandwich.
Cannot wait to see the finished product. Now there was one other hardhead series with the two specialists, Oscar Bradburn, best punter in the country, and Brian Johnson, a guy who has really come on, especially last year. But listening to those guys talk, Brian, and again, you played, and I don't know how it was, 15 years ago when, you were at the collegiate level. But those guys, they talked every time, it seemed more and more like, we don't want to be known as specialists. When we go out there and hit these workouts, we want to be football players. And it seemed like that was something, I feel like that's a culture thing. Like, yeah, you're a kicker, but you know what? Ball out as hard as you can on some of these drills.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like a football workout nerd thing to say, and I love it because I was definitely like a gym rat with that. Even though I played a every down offensive position, I'm always out there trying to beat the guy next to me, and I love that he was talking about trying to when Wyatt Teller was there, Oscar talking about trying to power clean more than him. He's like, I never got there, but Oscar joked about his dad bod as well, so that's another thing here. But what I dug is like hearing kickers talk about their craft and like kind of the nuances that I think a lot of people either take for granted or just don't pick up on. Like, you see a 50-yard punt and you think that's good, but if it didn't go where coach wanted it to go, Oscar's getting an earful when he comes off to the sideline, and that was an interesting take too, and something that if you're not paying attention to, you might be like, oh, okay, well,
Johnson was similar, talking about like making a kick and just sneaking it through the left side, and he goes back to the sideline, and Chavez is like giving him the look like down the middle, not on the left side. It's like one of those things. Those guys aim to be perfect, and Chavez seems like he aims to be perfect, which is they know if they don't, like, I have a feeling that 54-yarder at the Belt Bowl that did go dead center.
Yeah.
I don't think James Chavez jumped on Brian Johnson and Oscar for that one. He probably gave them big hugs. But you feel like he's holding them accountable for it, so it's pretty great.
Hold them accountable, and I love that Oscar throwing it over to Brian about when talking about he feels like Brian's got such a harder job than he does, even relative to Chavez's expectations, just because from a fan perspective, he was talking about, you go out and nail 350-yarders, but you missed a 40-yarder, and, people are going to give you crap. He's like, if I shank a 35-yard punt, but I kick 3 or 4 50s, nobody's going to say anything to me at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And that's a big thing to think about from a specialist perspective.
Oh yeah, man. Now, right before we started doing the recording the podcast, we got a commit. Will Johnson, safety up out of Maryland.
Yes, sir.
Brian, I know you jumped pretty quick to look at his tape. Where's this guy going to play, man?
I think he's going to be a whip for us. Probably, like we said, we're going to be a little more flexible with that position, I think. But I think he's definitely going to step in behind Shamari Connor and kind of be that guy that's going to get groomed for the future to take over that role. I do think we're going to be a little more flexible with how we deploy that position. But I think that's where he's going to line up. This guy's 6'2", 200 pounds.
Coach's son.
Coach's son tackles like a linebacker.
Would you say thump?
He's a thumper. He does like to hit. Two of the more impressive things is when he got in the box, read where the play was going real fast, played over the top of the guard, got in the backfield, made a play, and played just before that. He was playing center field and broke before the quarterback even let go of the ball and delivered a big hit on the wide receiver just as the ball arrived. So those two stood out for me. Not fleet of foot in terms of straight line speed, but really quick and fast and makes really good instinctive decisions.
That makes me understand why you say he's going to be nickel whip, being a little closer to the line. I'm still figuring out how this kid's a 3-star. He won Defensive Player of the Year up in his league that includes DeMatha.
Yeah.
Okay. He's not a 3-star.
I
Then you're playing in that league with DeMatha and some of those schools, and you're Defensive Player of the Year, not your senior year, your junior year. I think maybe he was undersized, and maybe he was like 5'10" last year when they rated him, and now he's got the spurt and he's got the weight on him.
Where's Brendan Hill? Stars don't matter.
It's true. We need to bring Brendan in sometime so he can tell us that 50 times. Also, man, this week, I'm sure you've noticed, our players may not be on campus in the weight room, but these guys, oh my gosh, they are all over the place working out. I mean, you had Trey Turner and Devin Hunter. Looks like they were in maybe their dad's garages with some crazy setups, doing some wild exercises and some workouts, man. So just grinding it out. Who else did you catch?
I caught the Holyfield brothers getting in. I'm not sure if it was a private facility or something, but they were getting some ladder drills on, working that agility. The one that cracked me up the most, Austin Cannon. He got bored, so he was pushing his forward. That's definitely a country song that's going to come out later.
Dude, Austin's up from Mechanicsville. The next time you see like a maroon expedition, you should look around and be like, is he pushing it again?
Is that Austin? That's Austin. He's just pushing it.
I saw Terrell Smith and Nazir Peoples inside. It looks like their apartment there in Blacksburg working out. Keyshawn Artis. Did you see? I didn't see this until today. This from like 4 days ago. Dude, they were like taking medicine balls. And, like, they're on the volleyball court in the sand in their shorts and no shirts, like, launching the medicine balls over the net at each other, catching it.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
And then Kendall Fuller, I think, you see, posted the comeback. It's like, this is how we really do it. But the ball kept coming to Kendall. I think he was getting a little arm tired at the end there. He's like, I'm going to throw this to the side. Get this thing away from me.
So it's awesome to see those kids doing that. And then Coach Fu comes out of hibernation. And throws out a tweet not only of what we saw, but then it looks like, I mean, it felt like more than half the team had some sort of video he put together showing all of them doing all sorts of things. I made the joke with you earlier today. Pretty sure he is one man and he has a wife and 3 girls. I'm pretty sure he probably just went a little insane and just said, you know what, give me the phone. I'm going to start tweeting things. And
he set a record. He's like at 2 tweets in one day. I think
a record.
That's the most I've seen from Fu. So I got to ask, man, since we're seeing all this home gymming and people pushing forwards, world's strongest man style, what have you been doing to stay in shape in this lockdown since we're both working from home?
Well, here's the bad thing. we started out. We actually were doing pretty good. Working out here with my wife, doing stuff like that. The first week we did a couple of them, and we hit it pretty hard, so we're pretty sore. But since then, I'm doing some things out with some West Coast people. So my day is jacked, dude. I'm getting up at 6:30 because that's what time the little one wakes up, and I'm not really getting off till almost 6:30 at night. I'm not working a full 12 hours, but once I'm up, I can't.
You were on for 12
I was
hours.
on for 12
You might not
hours.
be working it. You might not be punching the clock, but you were on.
I've really not done much. I mean, I will say this: chasing the boys around is a good exercise. Pushing them up and down the hill, with the little one up and down the hill on his stuff, and then I did some air raiding, which I'm gonna tell you, you push on a 175-pound aerator for a couple hours, you get a good workout in. So nothing official. What about you? You set up something there at the house?
I'm doing a little bit of cardio, a little bit of outdoor work with the son, running around playing tag. That's cardio as well. We got a trampoline in the back, so I've been hitting that up a little bit. But I mean, I need to probably do more because I've been out of the gym for about going 3+ weeks now, so I'm missing it big time. I was starting to get I wasn't quite at squatting 600 levels yet, but I was back in solid form, benching and squatting and power cleaning. So I'm kind of sad I'm losing some of that, but it is what it is. Gotta do what's best for everybody.
Exactly. Stay home, work from home, don't go anywhere, lock it down. Now it's kind of funny because the topic we're talking about today, the one we sort of promoted. Now we want to tell everybody we are switching it up. We're not going to do our first game experiences because if we did that today, we would have a 90-minute broadcast, and our wives would be like, "What the hell? Are you going to spend any time with me today? Or are you going to spend time with Brian and Curtis?" But Brian made the point of, dude, our kids right now, they're home. So they're playing, they're doing some schoolwork, but you can't expect a 7-year-old and a 3-year-old, because our kids are basically the same age, to do homework all day. They're watching all sorts of stuff. They're the lucky kids. They got on demand. They've got the apps. And Brian brought up this.
They got everything, man. They got
Lord.
Disney Plus is the go-to. They got Netflix, YouTube Kids. I mean,
but you brought up a great thing. When we were kids this age, and it was summertime or spring break, what did we watch? And oh man, it was pretty awesome. And I'll be honest, one of the first thing I remember watching, and it was like, I think it was 9 noon, Monday through Friday, USA. American Gladiator. Even though if you saw the episodes, the same thing 17 times, it was still awesome. Okay, let's do this. Love to watch it. Would watch it all morning. What was your favorite event?
I'm gonna have to go with the Joust.
The Joust. All right.
Yeah. What about you?
I mean, I like the Joust. Although, sometimes you would look at the size of the guy playing, like a guy like Laser. You would just be like, this guy doesn't have any chance against him.
No, remember Laser. If Laser got beat, Laser would pull you off and just get the DQ.
Oh, yeah. He was definitely a little dirty. But personally, my favorite, Assault.
Assault, yes.
Because it was one of those, it was like, it involved having things thrown at you, but you have the opportunity to fight back. Like, okay, I got to get to the first station. And I don't know, that one is always just a lot of, it was like a fun event. So when it came up, it was like, ooh, I got to watch this. Can this guy get close and, at least break the finish line? And then you'd see some of them, and it'd be kind of cringeful. Don't get me wrong, taking a joust to the head hurts. But you see some of those guys like take the tennis ball right off the ribs, and you're like, oh, that hurt.
Oh.
They're like,
yeah, the other one I like is Breakthrough and Conquer. I mean, that's a football and wrestling dream right there. So.
It's basically an Oklahoma drill trying to get past somebody. It's like, that's all we're doing.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna do Oklahoma, and then you gotta, push a big dude out of a ring.
Jeez Louise. But yeah, that was awesome. I know the one you.
So ESPN had a bunch of good stuff back then too.
ESPN used to be
ESPN's
the
kind of lame now in a lot of places, but I mean, so the biggest one re-airs of World's Strongest Man.
Oh yes, the ones from like the 80s with like Bill Casimir, and just
then later Magnus for Magnuson.
God, it's just funny, like you remember those names, and it's like, what did those guys do? They just lifted really heavy things, and it was just unbelievable to watch. Yeah, I mean, it was. Yeah, the kids today don't understand the ESPN that we grew up with, and it's my God, like.
All they see now is talking heads yelling.
I know, where it used to be, you woke up at 6 o'clock, Sports Center till what, 1? And the best part about that, you could like go look at other programs, play video games, do tons of other stuff, and I'll catch the next 15 minutes when I come back.
If it was summertime, you flip back. All right, I want to see all the good home runs from the day, so I'm gonna tune in and watch Griffey and Bonds air something out. Then I'm gonna flip back to something else.
Exactly. Now I know the one that you're the most in love with was the NFL Lineman Challenge.
Yes. So that was one of my favorites to watch. They show the re-airs all through the summer and stuff, and early on in the run of that, Warren Sapp would dominate. Occasionally, Strahan would break through. And then late in the run, I think Jason Taylor won like 3 years in a row or something just before they stopped doing it. Just because, he was the fastest lineman they had. Plus, he was strong enough to not be, deficient at the bench press and stuff like that. So that was always fun to watch, though, because I love seeing linemen show off their athleticism, because they don't. That doesn't really always get highlighted when you watch, NFL highlights or watching the game. They don't talk about it as much. So I always liked watching some of the linemen show out their athletic skills.
100%. It was always fun to watch them, and like it made you talk about Jason Taylor. I can remember him winning it, and you would just look and be like, he was like 6'5", like 270. And he was so fast, and he was so strong, and I mean, it's a reason he's a Hall of Famer. It's kind of like Sapp. Sapp was like 6'3", 315, and
there was no reason for a man that big to move that quick.
It also made you think, like, if I ever like ran into him and he made me mad, I would just keep walking, because if I got him in the face one good time, he would track me down and kill me. So what other shows, Brian? What other shows did you like as a?
All right, so during the day, I mean, it doesn't get better than the PRR. The Price is Right.
Oh, game shows.
Bob Barker.
Oh gosh, yes. Oh my goodness, The Price is Right. Bob Barker. You ever feel like you're a genius when you like got like 3 or 4 things right on that show?
Yeah. I was never as good as Barney Stinson, but I mean, occasionally I could get 1 or 2.
Well, what else? The other game show, like dude, this is my personal favorite. I know these were reruns from like the 70s and the mid 80s, but the $100,000 Pyramid.
Yeah. That was big. Match
game. Yeah. Oh, Press Your Luck.
Yes,
no
sir.
Whammy, no whammy.
Yes, sir. Big bucks, no whammies.
The other one that I think a very vastly underrated game show of our childhood, Alex Trebek Classic Concentration.
Oh man, you threw it back like that.
I mean, because 1, it was always on TV, and 2, I had the computer game from my old Tandy.
There you go.
Reference. There will be some in our audience, if they are under the age of
what the hell is a Tandy?
What the hell is a Tandy? But that game was so much fun, because you could like see things. Again, it was the same way being a kid. It's like, oh, that's that. And it's like, dude, what are you? And these adults are dumb.
Yeah.
But no,
man.
But The Godfather is The Price of Right with Bob, the beauties, the cool showcases.
Oh yeah.
All sorts.
Get your pets spayed and neutered right at the end. You always got to get that in.
Everybody. Plus, I think the other part of those shows, and you think about all of them, they had awesome theme songs. All of them had awesome theme songs.
And the best call ever. Come on down.
This is Rod Roddy.
There you go.
Oh, man.
There you go. And anybody that has to stay at Mama's house or Grandma's house knows about, somewhere around noon, 1 p.m., we're going to be watching the stories.
Young Restless, yep.
Everybody had to watch melodrama to the extreme. And, at some point, every dude got to admit it, they probably got into a storyline for a bit.
Oh, no, 100%, man. There's no way, like, as a young adolescent, between the ages of, like, 10 and 14, you kind of get onto it. And some of the women on the show were attractive. And you're like, oh, wow, yeah. Next thing you know, you're, like, knee-deep into a story. Hold on, Grandma. What is going on here? Explain.
Running back, I missed yesterday.
Yeah, Mom made me cut the grass. Gosh. But yeah, all those things as kids, it's kind of funny. We get to see our kids do something similar, really up close with what's going on now. And now, of course, they don't have the shows because, again, they're so lucky. They have video games, they have iPads, they have on-demand television.
Or you could be like me that I'm making my kid watch classic Pete and Pete because Pete and Pete's awesome.
Dude, my kid's into Phineas and Ferb now, which I can admit I have set for.
Dude, Phineas and Ferb is lit.
I've said numerous times, and I know this is a older show for us because that show came out. We were probably in our mid-20s. I'm like sitting there watching it, like, that's a pretty cool little show.
That's a show that I would have definitely watched when I was a kid and thought like this show is awesome.
Nice. Well, guys, the Twitter poll is going to be fun this week. We just gave a bunch of the cool things, but of the favorite weekday sports programming from our time as a kid, because it's our poll.
Boom.
American Gladiators.
Deal with it.
American Gladiators, World's Strongest Man, Price is Right, or do a write-in. If there's something out there we missed, by all means, jog our memories. It's been a long time since we did this.
Yeah, we'll throw something else as a vote, and if you vote that, throw us a comment. Let us know what it is. We want to hear what y'all used to watch back when you were kids.
Because we know you did. Brian, did we miss anything? No additional commitment since we've been sitting here for the last 35 plus minutes?
I haven't got a ping that says anything big time has happened, so I think we're good to go for now, man.
Well, that is awesome. Hopefully this the Johnson commitment will maybe we'll rain down a few more guys, given the Hokie Nation verbal commitment, make us happy during this time, because it would be nice. I'm going to say this.
Need that Big Mo. Let's get some Mo.
Exactly. So, for the Boundary Corner podcast, I am Curtis Wilson.
I'm Brian
And
Siegel.
as always, we let Jason Long play us out. Catch him on Spotify, Apple Music. We thank you guys for listening. Subscribe on any of the formats you listen to. Follow us on Twitter. And as always, let's go.
Hokies.